care of business. Keep it up, my nigga.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Friday Night Smackdown, the 21st of February. So, I want to get over this immediately because my week breaks over already. I'm feeling hefty as hell. Not that much, actually. Drink as much as I can to get over this Smackdown episode. Because, it's in the gaps, in a couple months, if it keeps doing episodes like this, people might not even care. They'll be consistently watching NXT more than an actual show on a legit TV channel like Fox. So, if it's something like that, SmackDown will be losing plethora of money, and WWE got to change their decision. They might put SmackDown back on on USA. God, we don't want that to happen. Or back on Sci-Fi. That's just terrible. Okay, so what happened? We opened up the show with, of course, promoing that Goldberg will be here tonight. Obviously, discuss his issues because this is technically the last SmackDown before Super Showdown, because Super Showdown will be streaming on a Thursday, other than a Friday, and that's when SmackDown was on Tuesday. So they had more building pressure, and it had 3 more days for SmackDown to get ready. So, yeah, this will technically be the last episode. Because obviously they didn't have much to build up for him in the first place. I think they only have 2 or 3 matches. So they have Dirt Sheet facing off against the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. They have, well, I think they're building up for later, Otis and Dolph Ziggler feuding off for, yeah, Mandy Rose. And of course, The Fiend against Goldberg. And of course, Naomi against, it was a predictable win. I was just going to spoil it for you at the jump anyway. That Naomi will face off against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Still, information about Sasha Banks. How come she hasn't been on WWE on SmackDown for a while? Probably because she had a legit, I think, leg injury. So they wrote her off of TV from a backstage fight a backstage fight when they were 2-on-1ing Lacey Evans. I found it to be a decent babyface promo, because there was an interview involving her and Renee Young doing her legit job, being an interviewer, actually asking legit questions, not trying to backfeed off actual calls from the ring in a legit match where she doesn't belong. She's obviously not a play-by-play girl. I'm pissed off because they did over a year of this, and I thought she was doing backup commentary for somebody. Then they had Dio Madden, but then we haven't seen him since the time he got F5'd off Brock Lesnar on a November 3rd episode of Raw. I know because I was there live in Nassau Coliseum. And Samoa Joe was legit the best commentator I've heard from in years. And this is off time with Michael Cole saying, "Got him." It was a vertical suplex, Cole, so it was weird. We opened off with a 8-man tag, so it will be the Usos awkwardly promoting in and trying to build off their accomplishments, trying to hype themselves over their match, because we might be having a future title match, or at least saying that these guys have conflicts after having the feud of the year on SmackDown Live back then, having some great Hell in a Cell tag team matches, having great tag team title matches on SmackDown. These guys were amazing, but the time that they're feeding each other off thinks the Usos are babyface now, it feels like they're a great tag team, don't get me wrong. The Usos are just like G.O.D., and the Young Bucks. And they come around saying Super Kick Party, and it felt so cringe. It just felt weird to say, to be honest. And then we had the New Day just still flinging pancakes around, even when The Miz and Morrison legit trying to build up some charisma. The Miz even did his old little head shake, then he'll do his little pose like back in the dirty days of 07 to 09 to early 09. So it was like, wow, I feel old at this point. It was a nice little setback to like their old entrance, how the Dirt Sheet used to be. That was a great thing. Then Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler were still a tag team, not like something like Heavy Machinery. a legit tag team. Why are Robert Roode? Because they got drafted as a tag team. You mean you have to put them as a tag team still? They could have broken up. They're obviously individual wrestlers. They still come wrestling in their individual gear. At least Ziggler, at least Miz and Morrison, they have their own history of a successful tag team in the past. Not Robert Roode and Ziggler. So I thought that made zero sense just to build up some heat. And then they want to write off Ziggler in a relationship storyline involving Otis and Mandy Rose. And then Tucker came. Sorry, back in. We'll go back into the match. God, yeah, it was basic as it can be. Brutal super kicks. There's of course the splash. And Usos are obviously gonna win for babyface sake. I thought it'd be a decisive finish. Obviously, they're not gonna do any conflictions with the Usos at New Day. It was a basic match. It wasn't that exciting as the last couple matches we've seen with with Morrison and Miz, with them picking up tag team wins. But let's get back onto the Tucker segment that he had with Mandy Rose, and then Sonya Deville just came around just saying, well, that was a Mandy Rose type. Oh, because he's blonde or because he's like 40 something, he still hasn't been that successful. I mean, I think it's like a basic and nice storyline. And what Tucker did to, like, you stop my friend from getting the push was really hilarious. It was heartfelt. It was obviously a nice little promo. Best part of the show, in my opinion. I mean, next to the Goldberg and the Fiend segment where he knew he was there, it was almost a match to when Kane knew it was Daniel Bryan about to hit a running knee on the Fiend 2 weeks before the Rumble. So it was a cool segment. Ended up getting speared, then using the darkness to escape Goldberg. So it's like, oh god. It was cool, but it's like, are you guys really anticipating this pay-per-view match against the Fiend? We know it's gonna end under 5 minutes, or they're just gonna make it a random stipulation match or drag in the match. I'm just expecting the worst because I've seen Goldberg already not have a great match since the 2016 Survivor Series match, where it was fast, unpredictable, and we literally haven't seen Goldberg in the ring since 2004. So it will kind of make sense that we would end a match like that. So. We of course had a awkward segment that they literally cut as soon as Heath Slater was talking to Drew Gulak. It's like, you listen to me, boop, they hit up to commercial break. So it's like, and it's not the first time they do terrible editing. No, terrible cutting into commercials. They do this before. It just felt so dumb, so amateuristic, because it's like, I don't know much about Drew Gulak's character. All I know, he was Cruiserweight Champion. So he should be given a bit more respect than this. Heath Slater just got himself fat, come around jobbing out to Daniel Bryan twice already from the yes lock, and then he gets immediately running need after Heath Slater tried to put up a bit of offense. And this came from him getting consistently stomped in the head. So obviously Daniel Bryan is just okay. I'll wrestle you. It's cool. I'll just kick your ass. It just felt so underwhelming. Like, also there was a promo involving Sheamus talking about like how cowardly and how baby. I don't know if they're trying to build up Shorty G into being a heel, just glorifying that there's bullies in the world. Going over, he's making fun of my height, and Apollo just comes in incredibly annoyed at this point, going like, "Dude, shut up. I can take care of myself." And it's like, oh my god, he truly is getting more annoying. Even kayfabe, he's annoying. And I don't know if they're trying to build up his character. It's like, alright, he already has the heel dynamics. He whines about simple things that shouldn't get anybody else pissed off. He comes attacking wrestlers in the back. He attacked Baron Corbin from the back. And then he attacked Sheamus when he had him one-on-one on a Smackdown episode before. From the back. Guess how upsetting that doesn't make any wrestler look. And he still jobs out to a guy that's supposed to be a dominant heel like Sheamus. In a handicap match. How's that supposed to make somebody look? And Apollo has been losing since day one of coming to the main roster. And he feuded with Sheamus before. Like, I remember, like, their first feud, I think, was a good match. Back in Money in the Bank of 2016. There was, of course, the Symphony of Destruction match. Sorry, anything stupid I'll mispronounce. Braun Strowman and Elias had an immediate regular tag team match, and then they mix up to the instruments involving huge piano, one drum set, until they went into another like random separate little drum of little ukulele or something, little banjo, not a banjo, kind of a small little ukulele. Sami Zayn had until Braun Strowman just brought a huge bass in. Sorry about that. I think I dropped something. Still, oh my God, it's amateur hour. Still, obviously Strowman went off a power slam over to Nakamura. This wasn't for the Intercontinental Championship, obviously. Then this was a basic tag team match just to get some momentum going for Strowman, still Intercontinental Champion. It's still like undermining how Strowman's potential has really fallen off, and how nobody cares at this point that he's Intercontinental Champion. It's really annoying because I like Braun Strowman at the time when he was beating the crap out of Roman Reigns, obviously, and he comes around just undermining and trying to stick up to this comedic gimmick. He's like the Big Show of the 2000s, of the 2020s now, and I don't want that to happen to Braun Strowman. Like, nobody's going to remember that you didn't win a world title since 2002, and you didn't win the world heavyweight title like since 2012. So it's obvious that they don't give a damn about Braun Strowman. Giving him the new Intercontinental title look, it's so dumb. It feels less prestigious, and it just feels undermining, and just having ridiculous match involving like a random guitar hit from Nakamura, then a guitar hit from Elias, then a huge guitar hit on, I think he was on Sami Zayn. The match was just everywhere. When it started off in an awkward pace, why they didn't just make a tornado tag team match just to use every instrument possible until it was a weak power slam through a piano that should have broken it. Thanks, Braun is like 200, near 300 something pounds. So that was just awkward as hell. We had, of course, a moment of bliss segment. I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all that the Bellas are somehow Hall of Famers, but not Owen Hart or Christian or Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, John Cena. They even when they promoted for John Cena coming to the show the next week, and they call him the greatest of all time. I don't know what he's gonna do next week. Probably issue a challenge that he might face off against somebody on the next episode on at WrestleMania or something. Because obviously they need a big factor to sell the show on, and literally not a lot of people are that excited to see Drew McIntyre probably be a victim of Brock Lesnar. So no. So obviously they need like a big face for John Cena to face off against, and they'll probably just make it a petty feud. Yeah, Daniel Bryan come around with Bree's kid in the segment there, and it's like, what did you do to change the women's division? AJ Lee changed the women's division. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley. As much as I hate to say it, they at least made women pro wrestling watchable. At that point, as much as I give them gripe, I know what they did. They're at least good in the ring. It took a while until Brie Bella was actually a single star in the ring. Nikki Bella was a single star in the ring, and that's all because of the relationships they had that pushed into suit with feuds with the Authority or with AJ Lee. Women wrestling even got populated because of AJ Lee's little pipe bomb from herself when she disrespected all the cast of Total Divas. No one cares about the Bella twins. That's harsh. That's harsh to say. I don't like ragging on people that have great accomplishments. It's It's nice to see the people got elected. I just don't feel like the Bellas did enough to actually accomplish a goal like that. And we also have the number one contenders. Of course, Naomi won. They're not doing Carmella again. They had a basic match where Michael Cole had the most calls in his career. Corkscrew, I think it was a corkscrew tope. He called a crucifix, and I wrote all of that down to Michael Cole just broke his record. He didn't call 20 moves. He called over 21. Oh my god. And he did it. Unbelievable. The match was okay. A false shining wizard. I think there was a missed super kick. Obviously, of course, Carmella's holding the ropes because obviously she can't do fast-paced moves. She did the most legit super kick of her career when Naomi was on her knees, and then a bam super kick to the face. A rear view got a near fall. Weird. That's weird. It's obviously like Asuka's thing when she does a rip off rear view. The match was okay. Obviously, the best match on the show, but it was just in my opinion. And if the best match on the show was just it's just mediocre at this point. I'm not trying to rag on these women. Did a nice job, but it was still like I'm not really built up on this feud. Obviously, they've been trying to hype up this title match since the post Royal Rumble Smackdown. So it was obvious that Naomi was going to win the number one contenders match, and this had so much build up over the two interviews they had after the post title match ambush from Bayley. And then they just had a number one contenders match with no authority figure other than just let them fight over the title in just 1 week. So that was pretty much it. And then we had obviously the Fiend segment with Goldberg. It's like he might be. I really don't want this gimmick to fail. I just rag on this because I want this to improve. I'm obviously not that negative on the Fiend. There's times where I insult the mask, but I just want to, to put some comedic something on it. I'm not gonna like praise it. I'm gonna make fun of it. My favorite wrestler of all time is Jericho, and I have a lot to say about Jericho's walk. I'm not gonna go through it because, of course, he's world champion. So I don't want him to hit me or lash me with a dumb little giant gold that AEW glorifyingly made that looks like it can torture you. Looks cool though. Either way, it ends with a massive spear over the Fiend trying to ambush him. Goldberg obviously knew his shtick since that interview he had 2 weeks before, and just speared him. The Fiend escapes with the monotonous, magical turn off the light shtick, and bam, left. Obviously promoting that Goldberg might have a chance to defeat the Fiend and become a 2-time Universal Champion. That's practically the show, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. That's a harsh call to give it, but if they did nothing to wow me other than a 50-year-old Goldberg spearing the Fiend, who's supposed to be a top of a line main eventer with no other superstars gunning for the championship, Roman Reigns doesn't come out to gun for the title. They're doing a steel cage match still for this dumb feud that has no reason to exist except make a petty jobber like Baron Corbin still think he's regaining heel heat. When the best heel technically is the guy he's facing that's supposed to be the good guy. It's an underwhelming feud, and I don't like to say that, but it is. And wow, that's practically it. Wow. The number one contenders match was fine. I didn't like the opening segment that much. It just showed like these guys have history and they still like the Usos as babyface. It just bugs me because the way when they were heels they had aggression. It showed that they were getting underutilized. It showed that they felt like legit heels and they had the talent to back it up. That's a tag team. That's a group. No, I don't know what happened to the revival because they should have got rid of the Ziggler and rude, even though they were Raw Tag Team Champions before. They only did it because they had a lack of a tag division. And God, it just aggravates me, man. Because I want SmackDown to succeed on Fox. I want it to get popular, and I want wrestling to get popular again. But thanks to these low expectations and how mediocre they continue making their shows, I'm just wishing for something better. But that's all I can give SmackDown at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed my review and enjoyed that small little metal thing that just dropped from my hands stupidly. So that's it coming from the DST show. Hope you share your friends, everybody close to you, try to grow the channel up, like, comment, and subscribe. That's it coming from my voice.